it's just knowledge. See how it grows?
Yeah, the spiral.
Actually, I wanted this to be the logo. It was really hard, the discussion with Madame. Because I was like, oh yeah, this can be the logo, and then we can put things here like in the picture, like simple.
Yes.
Because there's so much growing all over. This is Tambran, by the way. So if you have a strong diarrhea,
Yeah.
you don't want to stop it. It's all depend on your diarrhea.
Uh-huh.
But after one day of diarrhea, well, try to stop it, man, because you're gonna disappear.
Yeah.
So you get the leaves of the Tambran, and you drink it. If you don't have Tambran leaf and you want to stop a diarrhea, you can use also guayaba leaf.
But what
But if
should
you
we
don't
stop
have
diarrhea?
No, he's saying the first day you let it go, but you shouldn't let it to go too long because it will drain you.
Ah, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
So if you don't have none of these plants, then you use turned banana.
Yeah?
I told a guy once, hey, you get turned banana and to stop the diarrhea.
Turned banana, what do you
Turned
mean?
banana means in between ripe and green.
Oh,
He's supposed to eat the banana. What do you think he did with the banana?
what do you mean? Hey?
He put a stoppage to the diarrhea.
Ah, like that.
This guy's silly.
They plugged it.
He plug himself.
Oh my.
Yeah. Exactly. There's a senna too? This one?
There's a senna tree.
Yeah?
Because you said there's a senna 2, I said there's a senna tree.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know there's a senna 2,
Yeah.
and I said tree.
yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
One leaf is not activating the relaxation.
You need a couple.
One leaf is for different treatments.
Okay.
For your body weight, it will be, I will have to do a test on you.
Mm.
So I'll make a test on 5 leaves.
Mm.
I'll make a test.
Yeah.
And then I see.
But that's
And
too
then-
flush.
It's the flush.
And you shouldn't do that too much, right?
No, this is one time. Because maybe you eat something and you want to get it
Yeah.
out or something. So I'm making a test. But if you want to do a cleansing, I have to make a test because I'm gonna make it a little stronger.
Uh-huh.
But if I see a reaction on this leaf, nothing happens, it means that you're really strong, so I can put another plant.
Yeah.
Because if I drink that, nothing.
Nothing happens.
Some guys drink 2 leaves and they're like, "Where's the tonic?
Run.
Where's the tonic?"
I think I need that.
Yeah.
So this is Gotu Cola. Yeah.
Cola.
If you have a nice view with the camera of your magic with your
Cool, cool,
filming,
cool.
this is what nurses the brain and the nervous system. Nerves problem, stress problem, it's renewing your cells. According to the Ayurveda, that's 4 leaves a day.
4 leaves a day.
The top models in the world use the cream. The name of the cream is Centella asiatica, which is the same scientific name of the plants. It's one of the most expensive cream in the world, and it does completely. But if you induce it, it will do the same thing because it's renewing your cells. You don't need to buy 200 euros for this cream stuff. You can grow this in your balcony and every day take a leaf and chew it. Maybe you don't like it. In Asia, it's a tradition for the kids to drink it. It's disgusting. They don't like it. But this juice, no, take a fresh leaf. Take a fresh leaf. That's right one. Take like this one, green one.
Okay, smell first.
Yeah, you smell it. You break it and you smell
It's
it.
okay. Okay, can I
Chew it.
chow?
Yeah, you drink
swallow
it.
too?
Yeah, they make salad. They make salad. It's very strong.
Yeah.
Very strong. So 1 leaf in your salad daily, 2 leaf in your juice, your smoothie, your green. You know quinocola, right? For the memory.
No,
Not
never
really.
heard about it.
I've
No.
been using this and it helps me a lot for the memory.
Yeah?
You're too far from the... Because of the audios had you.
No, that's a good microphone. Don't worry about it.
Want to chew one?
See, you get the seed, you can grow that one.
This one.
Yeah, I start with 1 plant. Amazing thing. Because you know, we say in Spanish here, conejito indio. You know, when you make experiments. Yeah, sometimes people are like, oh, so I've been giving this person because they say, no, I have bad memory and I have to make a test and blah, blah, blah. So I tell him about that. He's growing it, he's drinking it, and he's being successful in his studies. You can focus, you can relax, meaning when you go to bed, he's not thinking, you sleep.
Whoa.
It can retain.
Oh my.
So
That's
the Ayurveda has been using it since 8,000 years in India.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What are we doing with our lives? Missing
Well,
this
our life
greatness.
is in the hand of 1% who owns the world.
And this is getting it back. This is
Huh?
how you get it back.
Yeah,
Grow your own
exactly.
stuff.
You have to grow your own intake with your food, you know. This one is star fruit. Star fruit, amazing. You remember we
Carambola.
say star apple?
Star
No,
apple,
this
this
one is
one.
star fruit.
This is the
Exactly.
purple one.
Yeah, and you can see the flowers are beautiful.
This is a carambola.
Carambola, star
Ah.
fruit. Yeah.
Star apple, right?
Star apple
Star
is
fruit.
different.
But what's the purple one?
Star apple is over
Ah,
there.
that's a star apple. Ah,
That's a big tree, right?
yeah.
And star
That's-
fruit is look like a star.
Mm-hmm.
But the star apple, it doesn't even look like a star. It's round, but if you look underneath, there's a little star there.
And if you cut it too.
And if you cut it too,
Yeah.
very good observation. I tell you, you should be a scientist. You think I'm joking?
What a nice house.
Yeah, this is a little place for like if it would be free, you would be staying here if you want to stay
Yeah.
here. But she's a Feldenkrais practitioner. Since
Yeah.
she came here, she fell in love with the project.
Yeah, of course.
She's famous. She's been here 2 months, and she has so many people coming with.
Yeah.
And she fixed them, and people coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. So now she's thinking to moving.
Yeah.
She's coming back to England, sell her house, and she's coming back here.
Yeah.
And there the patients also using the herbs from the farm.
She doesn't use no herbs. She doesn't use nothing. She doesn't cure. She only makes your brains do what it has to do in your body,
Okay.
which is the best way of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because when you do something, you only work externally. But when I work on your nervous system, then your brains know what to do. Yeah, you move your left one and your right one. This is the job of your brain. Running, you start with your left foot, all this. So if she works on your brains, then your brains know what to correct.
Mm-hmm.
But when the patient comes here, they
No,
do the
they only come
practice
for
with
session.
with her, but they also use the herbs from
That
here.
has nothing to do.
Okay.
Feldenkrais has nothing to do.
I know, but they can also be interested on other stuff.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people who come and paint here when they get Feldenkrais, they don't need nothing.
Ah.
It's just here. It's here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is not something. No, let me tell you something. If you have fever and I give you this plant, what do you think? You think because you drink the tea, right? And you're like, oh, I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? The plant heals you?
No.
No, the plant cannot heal no one. Medicine doesn't heal. What the plant does, pretty much what she's doing, is connecting to your inner being and
Stimulate.
giving the information, the knowledge to your inner being to correct or to balance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, this is really nice information.
That's good.
That's
yeah,
it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not that you drink the plant and you're like, oh, yes, the plant. No, it's not the plant. It's like Reiki. It's the energy coming through the plant towards to you. If I'm healing you and you say you have a headache and I go like this, and you go like, oh my, I don't have a headache.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, no, don't give me the power.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no power. I'm just,
Conveying.
okay?
Yeah.
No, you have a plant that's called Curalo Todo. Very popular in Costa Rica now. It's going crazy. 2 leaf is like $20. Curalo Todo.
Curalo.
Right there.
This one.
The diabetics are crazy like looking. I have to hide it.
Diabetic?
Diabetic because this one really stimulates the pancreas and balance the sugar in the blood
Yeah.
and helps to create insulin.
Yeah.
So that also they just changed the name of the plant calling it insulin. But people with cancer be drinking it, people with cholesterol be drinking it, people with this be drinking it. I was like, so it's a plant that helps in a lot of different forms, and we will drink a tea of this.
What's this right now?
You go into the place and one plant, $30, like this. So, papaya.
Papaya.
You have malaria, you go to Thailand and boom, you got malaria, just get papaya leaf.
Yeah, right?
Get the juice of the papaya
Yeah.
leaves.
Drink it.
Yeah.
Done.
Parasites,
How-
get the seeds.
How long does it take for the leaves, the juice of the leaves to cure malaria?
Depend on your immune system. Depend on your immune
You
system.
say like days or
It can take like a week
a week?
or let's say 3 days until you start But the thing is, if you've been taking it before, one day and it's already in your system, telling. But the information needs to get to your system, so it's going to take, because if your immune system is down and when you're taking this information in your system, then you need a little more time. That's why the plants takes a little time to heal than the conventional medicine and stuff like that.
So you basically see the plants as a conduct for the frequencies of the universe to connect with your body.
Exactly. Because you are the universe. We are created by, you're part of the stars, your teeth. We are. We are the world.
That's a nice perspective.
Sugar cane, good for your toothbrush. Pineapple. What you do when you get pineapple?
You cut off the top and the bottom.
The top and you kick the top.
You can cultivate it, right?
Yeah, well, sometimes the best thing to pineapple, we can talk about it. That's different. To cultivate pineapple is a different science. You don't cultivate the top. That's not the seed. But anyway, when you buy a pineapple, you pull this one out. 1, 2, and 3. Put it in alcohol. Over 120 degrees.
Whoa! A tincture from the first 3 fresh leaves.
Top secret. You can go online. There's a doctor called me. I don't remember his name, but you can type in. I have it right down, but he's talking a lot about it. They have a lab, so they're doing a lot of research.
And what kind of disease are you talking about?
Man, there's so much.
So it's also an anti-inflammatory, basically.
Absolutely.
Really strong.
Absolutely.
And it's also good for the intestine.
Now this guy, when he starts
the bromelain.
Like,
Bromelain.
Bromelina.
Bromelina.
Yes, bromelina's in the fruit. Yeah, that's in the amazing thing to eat. Amazing thing to eat. Cashew.
Cashew,
oh my God, the list is like this.
For diseases.
It's amazing. Just eat it. I mean, all what it does. The fruit is good, but the seed is amazing.
But you must roast it, right?
Of course, because it's toxic.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a medicine that I use for leishmaniosis.
What's that?
Leishmaniosis? It's a pathogen, meaning animal is infected by a disease and a fly bite that animal and transmit it to you. That's leishmaniosis. You have leishmaniosis cutanea, you have leishmaniosis panamensis. So you cut the seeds in 2, and because the toxicity is so high, which is the biochemic, then you start placing it on the leishmaniosis. It's like a mosquito bites, but it's eating you. Leishmaniosis means the one that going to the liver.
Okay.
Or the one that eats liver.
Like a hepatitis kind of deal.
It's one of the tropical diseases.
Oh, wow.
You can get that in the mountain when you go up to the Brevis. In fact, if you go up to the Brevis, I don't know if you've been there.
Yeah.
Look on the Indians.
We've
They
been
have a
there.
scarf here.
They have a scar there?
Most of the girls and the guys have a scarf here. Maybe some have it here, but most of them have it here because that mosquito bites in the sensitive part.
Oh.
Big scarf. The American, when they went to Vietnam, they have this scarf this big in their back. That's leishmaniosis. That's one is in Europe. Leishmaniosis. The cat has leishmaniosis in Europe. Crazy stuff.
And the cashew.
The cashew sap from the seed. Just burn it.
From the seed.
Yeah, before you roast it. That's why you have to roast it before you eat it. You know? Most of the nuts have these toxins.
Yeah.
Even almonds, you have to know how to treat it before.
This is a cashew?
That's a cashew. That's a cashew.
Right in the backyard.
That's a cashew. You don't have to go out. If your arm is long enough, like
And
Jordan.
one of those that you get for the phones. You know, they have those, don't they?
What's that? What's
Those
that?
little extension arms.
She got one there. She got
Yeah,
one
for the
there.
phones, but you can get some for the garden.
Yes, that's
too.
right.
Yeah, 'cause
That's called laziness.
It's called lazy.
So Dracanea fragrans, which is the scientific name of this cane here, what it does, according to the studies in the NASA in this 1970, I don't remember when, they put this plant indoor. Where it's contaminated by, I don't know, radiation, for example.
Oh, yeah. Absorbs all the toxins.
That's why when you're looking at a movie, you always see in the back a little plants of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Costa Rica export just like rice to Europe.
Yeah.
Goes to Holland, and from Holland it's spread over the
Yeah.
world.
What's the name again? Sorry.
Dracanea fragans, the scientific name. The English name is yucca or yucca fragans because the flowers is amazing when it smells. You don't get it yet. No, not yet because it's in May. I mean, you can come in from coming walking from Australia, you get, no, it's a little bit far, but from the corner you get it.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Beautiful.
that's something to look forward to.
Oh, that's why I don't cut it.
No, I
Nice.
don't think. Well, we never see the flower in the UK, that's for sure.
No, you're
No,
not gonna
yeah.
see the flowers in Europe, yeah.
No.
You know, I'm gonna go and make a tea if you want. You're interested to know about the Feldenkrais? You're right here in the moment. You want to give them 2 minutes?
Sure. If
I'll
they
make a
want
tea
Film
and then I'll
it.
come back and call.
Can we film
The explanation.
for YouTube?
Well, I suppose so.
Yeah,
I'm not used to this, but
Okay.
I'm sure I'll manage.
you're doing good.
Yes.
So,
Feldenkrais.
it's not yoga.
No, it's a form of neuromuscular reeducation that uses movement and focused attention to access the brain, the central nervous system,
Okay.
and to re-engage it in the process of organizing movement.
And
Because we get out of either we get out of efficient movement coordination and patterns of organizing, or we never actually got there.
And why is that?
Well, there's a multitude of reasons. We might not have got there because a baby, we are wired, you know, the potential for walking is wired in. But if you don't, there is a family like this somewhere in India, I think, where no one in the family walks on 2 legs. They walk on 4. And every new member of the family also walks on 4 because they've never had the role model to learn. So what motivates a baby to learn to walk is to see
Yeah.
his environment and you know, his carers and how they're walking. So that's often how babies or, you know, a young child, when they're walking next to their mom or to their dad, you see that it's very similar in the way they're walking. So, but even though this is the, as you say, this is the initiative, you know, the initiation towards learning, learning happens at trials and errors. So a baby will learn to reach for something through a multitude of trying out to coordinate a whole set of muscles together. And you see babies first like this, you know, and then one day, after narrowing down the range and the possibilities of what's going on at each joint, they find that coordination. But then you improve it.
Yeah.
You become more skilled at moving. And it's the same with walking. However, for that you need floor space. Babies need floor space. So that they find, their nervous system finds through learning, through experience, how to stand efficiently on their bones. And for a number of reasons, many babies don't have the opportunity. Say the parents have moved in the new flat, the floor isn't all that great, so they'll be in a bed throughout the whole of their the time where they develop learning movement, you know, when they come from, or whatever, or there were a number of ideas at some point, like babies needed to have tummy time.
Tummy time?
Yeah, so they needed to be lying on their front for a certain amount of hours per day. I don't know who invented that, but and that can mess up a baby that hasn't yet done enough practice of going from lying to rolling on his side to come to his front by himself, because through that process he'll develop coordination of the extensors, which is the muscles that hold you up in gravity, standing. So if there's no time for the baby to, or no opportunity for the baby to learn that and develop that organization for himself, then he'll be on the front and his nose will be pressing against the whatever he's on, because he won't have the muscles to hold his head, for instance. Then the baby could have come to more or less standing by itself, find standing against a chair, or, you know, as they do. And then the relatives, whether mom, dad, big brother, whatever, wants to help the baby, so they hold the hands.
Which is wrong.
It's wrong, because that tells the nervous system the inaccurate information, that if the foot is a little like that or a little like that, the baby is still standing, or the young child is still standing. So the nervous system goes, oh, well, that's all right then. And this is how all this ineffective way we organize in standing is fine when you're a child, when you're a youngster, in your 20s, although this is not so true now because we spend so much time sitting. The new world and there. So already I'm working now in practice with very young people.
So we are the screw babies,
Yeah.
let's say.
Although this is very good what you're doing.
Squatting.
Squatting,
Yes.
Yeah? It's good for release.
Well, it's good for organizing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, because it's lengthening the small of your back, which is often where we overuse our muscles, where we arch from. There's nothing wrong with arching the back, it's necessary. You wouldn't stand and have your head where it needs to be or your chest where it needs to be if you didn't have the curves in the spine. But it needs to be distributed
Okay.
through all the vertebrae. They all have a role to play in that arching. And what happens most of the time is, again, whether it's inefficient coming to stand or whether it's inefficiency gained through sitting on chairs at the office for hours or being traumatized, where we all are, going to nursery school and already you have to sit on chairs for hours. And all of that comes in the way of organizing efficiently.
And what is this?
So it's okay for a few years, but after a while it starts to, because it's not efficient, it creates strain and fatigue and overuse of certain joints. So that's when all the knee replacement, hip replacement, that's when all of that comes in.
And how this is connected with the emotions?
Well, because we're emotional beings, and while I said, there's a number of reasons why you would come to stand and not be efficient, there's including emotions. If you have I'm a dance movement psychotherapist as well as a Feldenkrais practitioner. So I've worked for 10 years in a primary school with children who were experiencing emotional difficulties. Most of them don't have a safe contact with the ground with their feet. So it's very connected.
It's important to stay in contact.
If you don't trust your primary carer, you ain't going to trust the earth either. Or you ain't going to trust the ground, etc., etc. So it all connects. And so the work now, what I do, is through movement exploration. It's like puzzles, whether I'm instructing you verbally, that would be the group classes. You go through a sequence that you find for yourself, or an individual session where I'm touching, but it's not a massage because my touch aims to clarify your skeletal sense of yourself, or your
like
sense
awareness.
of your skeleton.
Awareness.
So you have a better, because that's another aspect about self-image now. Again, a bigger picture than self-image just in psychological terms.
Wow.
We have the brain maps all the body. That's how it coordinates it and organizes moving, right? And some maps are more accurate than others. Some maps are inexistent. If we don't use, often, like for instance, the thoracic spine, that for most of us, there's a little bunch of vertebra that's unknown. It might as well not be there. We don't have a picture. We don't have any pixels about that area of ourselves because one, we don't see it, but more importantly, we don't use it.
You mean as the tailbone?
Wow.
No, I'm talking that could also get stopped in a habitual way, but I'm talking about the most common, especially in the Western world, is the thoracic spine. So that's the part, the 12 vertebrae of your spine where you have ribs attached. So naturally there is less mobility because of this structure attached around it than in the lumbar, the first 5, or in the cervical. And that's why often we develop pain either in the neck or in the cervical, because the middle bit is not participating in movement. It's fixed.
Wow.
Through tension, and this is where we go emotional big time, because the chest is the chest. It's the chest of our
But you don't want to be
emotions.
like this, right? You want to be...
You don't want to be doing anything that you do with a will, because that's not efficient. You can't organize from your thinking mind. Your thinking mind doesn't have the tool to compute the complexity of the matter, which is standing and walking on 2 legs. You look at robotics, right? nobody has yet managed to create a robot that looks, when he's walking, anything like a human. Right? And running, well, forget it. Sitting, standing, all of these things that we take for granted, they require immense amount of engineering and ingenuity, and it really requires that every single part of us participate.
And we
To
create
some
this
extent.
engineering. We create
The what?
this awareness of sitting, this
Through the work,
weight of sitting,
but
and
through the work you create.
in using the muscles.
Yes, so the lessons that you listen to your bones, and you get a clearer picture of what's going on, what's moving, what's not moving anymore, or has never moved, and so forth. And that process re-engages the brain in its number one job, which is to organize movement. But if you interfere with the process by thinking, oh yeah, my toes are pointing out a bit, let me bring them in. I did, that's what I know, I could tell you about it at some point, very early in my Feldenkrais training. And it wasn't like I was, a fascist about it. I just had in my head this idea that if they were to come in, my organization would improve. And they did come in, because I had this idea, so my brain listened to my ideas too. And so
you fix that?
no, I fixed it, but I didn't have a sense of what needed to change. Yes, the toe would move in, but not because the toes are moving in, because in my hip joint something needed to be different. So what I did is overcompensate. So you have a problem, you know that you're out somewhere or another, and you go the other way to try to make it better. But your brain, your thinking brain, your active, conscious brain cannot do that. You have over 200 bones, over 200 muscles, way over that. You have tendons, ligaments, other kind of, soft tissue. You have fascia. You have auto-coordinate all of that for walking. But when you do this and when you do that with your hands, it's required, if all is functioning efficiently, this is 50 muscles that need to reorganize for this simple change. So you can imagine that your brain needs to constantly readjust everything, and it gets habituated in what we do the most, and you get stuck in that. And the more you do lots of things habitually, the more you get stuck in those, and before you know it, your mobility has reduced so much that you're almost immobile, and they call it aging.
Are you following?
And what do you think about yoga?
Yoga, well, yoga has got some, it's a beginning. I mean, and I think its popularity just shows that people are now looking to reconnect with this. To live more in their body, but yoga will not address habits. It can't, not the way it's taught.
And why is not? And why not?
Because it doesn't bring your attention to how you're doing it. It still brings your attention to a goal. You go into a pose. You do 10 breaths. You do, it's all, right? You don't live in the space in between.
Okay.
This is what's missing.
Okay.
And I think that's because yoga is essentially poorly taught. That's my understanding, because I think yogis back in the days and back in India had a similar understanding to what Moshe Feldenkrais, who created the Feldenkrais method, did understand. Through pragmatic, through experience.
Okay.
That's how Feldenkrais learned himself, through experiencing with his own body.
It's an internal practice.
So, but because the brain, everything is connected in the brain, right? So when you start to create new neural pathways and connections for movement, it creates other neural pathways and connections overall. So you'll be improving your capacity for coping with stress. You'll have more choices, in the same way that you'll develop more choices in how you move. So what you do is not necessarily wrong, but if it's only one choice, then you're limiting yourself. In a way, you're inhabiting you're creating your own prison, and at some point, you won't be able to do anything else, because your brain, which is super neuroplastic, takes, but takes note of everything we do. And if you know you have an injury, you have a toe that's broken, for a month you're going to shift weight over to the other leg. If you don't work with your brain at the end of that, you're going to be on that leg for the rest of your life. Not entirely, for sure, but enough that you're out of balance and you start to create problems with your pelvis, your lower spine, your mid spine, your neck.
Which affects your emotions,
Of
which
course.
makes you sick.
Yeah, if you don't feel comfortable in your body.
This is it. Well, most of us don't live in there anyway. We live in our thoughts, and that's not in the body.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's the essence of the work.
The sense of the work is to live in the body, not in the thoughts, not in the mind.
Well, the essence of the work is to allow ourselves to have a sensory experience of ourselves without judgment. That's the other aspect of that work, which is really powerful. So you get, over time, you get layered, repeated, qualitative experience of encountering yourself with another person or in the presence of a group without the supervisor being switched on.
You need another person for the
if-
practice.
No, you can
You can
do
do alone.
You can do it alone, but well, there's value in one. When you start, it's interesting and useful to start with a practitioner, because it doesn't matter how much I'm explaining to you, until you do it for a little while, you won't understand
For
what I'm
yourself.
saying. It's so different from the world we live in. So that's one thing. And then you also might have issues, or not issue, but particular pattern, particular modes of coordination, of putting things together, that I can come in touch with through sensing how you move here, there, and the other. What move when I do this, that. I'll discover how you organize, what you do, where you put excessive effort, where you underuse, and so I can help you directly.
And you just see that? Okay, you're able to
No,
see.
it's not so much seeing; it's more sensing. It's
Ah,
a mixture of two, because it's an attunement.
Okay.
I also have to come into the same place where I'm bringing you, which is parasympathetic nervous system functioning, where the heart rate drops, and then you start digesting. All the internal goings on are going on, as opposed to the sympathetic nervous system, where we live, sadly, on a default basis, because it's not normal, so you know, because we're stressed.
Yeah.
So we're constantly on this alert mode, where we don't digest properly, we're breathing shallow, like we're playing dead, because we are chased by some invisible jaguar, or worse, much worse actually, and yeah, that's why we get so sick. So it's all nervous system, and you can work with that, and you can bring it back to a place where you self-regulate, so that the three brains work as they should.
So I bring you my complaints, and then you touch, and then you see, and then we work with it.
Because it's not me doing it. All I do is present your brain with the possibility of movement,
And adjustments.
not the range even, just the directions. In certain places where, or I might do a movement with you, and then I might place my hand on another part of you and gently follow the movement of your bones. That you'll pick up. And your brain will make something out of that. So I don't do anything. I'll just do that, those sort of things.
The adjustments.
And then I let you rest, and in the rest your body will change how it's lying, and then when you stand you'll be organized differently. It's instant. It's layered, so you do a little bit each time. It's not catharsis.
Catharsis.
Well, anyway, it's not that, for sure. It's not at all. It's step by step. Sometimes it feels super settled, and then there's an accumulation of super settled thing. One morning you wake up and you go, oh wow, I'm really doing this differently now.
And, and it's easy to keep up with it once
Well,
you learn.
Some people come because they have an issue, and then they do this for, say, they come to see me for 5 sessions, and then they might decide that that's enough for them, and maybe they come and see me once a month, just to make sure that if they disorganize a little bit, they come back more towards more efficiency. But each lesson or each session is a learning tool. So it's cumulative.
Uh-huh.
That's how it works. So you and there's no limit to improvement either.
Yes.
So how you pace it is entirely up to you. But usually it's a good idea to start with a practitioner. So you do some hands-on work because it speeds up your awakening, so to speak. Then you can do some group classes either with a practitioner or through downloads. There's tons of material now on the internet, and you take it in your own pace. For sure you need to develop enough discipline that you lie down on the floor and listen to this audio and do what the instructions tell you. But that's it. And the rest is pure joy. And it's like taking Alice in Wonderland's pills, although you never know when you do a lesson what pill it is. You might feel taller, you might feel heavier, you might feel longer, you might feel thinner, denser, you name it. And you feel often also emotions too, but they don't last because they're being released. As the muscles finally let go, what they've held for years, then you might feel something temporarily, but then it'll go. And you don't necessarily need to know what it was either.
No.
Which is the beauty of this work, as opposed to psychotherapy or anything where you dig and you grate and and you look into.
You don't
With
name
this
things.
you can unravel programming, neurological programming, through the repeated experience of this non-judgment, this allowing you to be. This is very profound for your nervous system.
No, that's fascinating.
Sure.
Have you never heard about this?
Never
right?
heard about it.
Where are you from?
We live in Amsterdam. He's Dutch. I'm Brazilian.
Right. Well, it's developing in Brazil a little bit now.
Yeah?
The Brazilians love it. That
Yeah?
I know. And there's a training in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
There's been 3 already. So 4 years training. So it's been going on for about 15 years.
Oh, good to know. Great. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
That was nice. What's your name?
Karin,
Kani. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. But yeah, look into it. It's the future.
I think we'll stay here for 2 days.
Right.
nights.
So well, if that's what you're gonna do, tomorrow I'm super packed. I've got 5 sessions booked, so I'm not gonna
Okay.
do anything. I can't. That wouldn't be reasonable. I need to take care of myself
Mhm.
too.
Sure.
Self-regulation.
Yes,
But
very important.
I can do something most likely Tuesday. I'll have to look in my diary, but I think I've only got 3
No,
sessions.
we gotta go Tuesday morning.
Yeah, but it
Are
was,
you leaving Tuesday
Yeah.
morning?
but it
That's
was
a
nice
shame.
anyway.
Well, you can look into it in Holland. There's a guild in Holland already.
Nice.
Nice.
Your tea and chocolate is
He's ready?
screaming for you.
Yeah.
Ah,
You, please.
Thanks a lot.
Nice meeting you.
And what's your, do you have a website? or
I do.
It's there on the table. Everything
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You can take
All my
pictures.
details is on the table.
We
You
will
can take a
look for it.
picture
Can
because
you
I'm
say it
very.
for YouTube?
Can you say
Can you
it?
mention it for YouTube?
Oh right. Okay. Well, this is www.freedomthroughmovements.com.
Great.
Nice to meet you.
And you.
Have a nice day. Enjoy.
You too. Take care.
You too. Thank you.